Howdy, hi. It is Deer Job Sports College Football Week 7 Picks and Predictions Part 2. Let's get into the video. All right, so we are just going to hop right on in. Nothing to recap since we already did that in the Part 1 section. If you want to go back, I'll put the link in the description. It was posted Sunday night for the Part 1 Picks and Recap of Week 6 and then Picks Week 7. So, first game. I'm going to take Wake Forest on the road at Oregon State. I'm surprised this line is only minus 2.5 for Wake. I've been very, very impressed with Wake Forest this season. I've been the opposite of impressed with Oregon State. They look like a team who deserves to be in the Pac-2 because they are horrible. Wake, they looked pretty good. You could argue they should be a one-loss team considering the refs screwed them over in that game against Georgia Tech where that dude clearly jumped off sides and just wasn't called. I would lay this number all the way to minus 7, maybe minus 10. Probably no more than minus 10, though. So, yeah. Wake Forest, 3-2 on the season. Their losses on the road to NC State, and then at home to Georgia Tech by 1, but they got screwed. They should have won that game. Their wins were against Kennesaw State Week 1. They won that, I think, by 1 point. Greasy game, but they got it done. Western Carolina by 1 billion, and then Virginia Tech on the road by 7 last week. This is their second road game in a row, which is slightly concerning. But when you look at how bad of a spot this is for Oregon State and the fact their team is horrible, it's actually pretty good. Wake's defense top 15 in the country, giving up just 325 yards per game. You compare that to Oregon State's defense, who gives up 427 yards a game. Oregon State, 0-6. And for all intents and purposes, this is also a travel spot for them. They just played on the East Coast at App State, so both of these teams have to travel all the way over there to Oregon State. That's not going to be fun. This is their 7th week playing in a row. We are at week 7. They have not had one bye week. These guys have to be mentally boomed. Their offense, bottom 30 in the country. They average just 350 yards per game. They give up 35 points a game on defense. This team is very, very bad. Home or away, doesn't matter. They're going to lose. Give me Wake Forest, minus 2.5. Next game we got, it is Big 12 action. I'm making 2 bets in this game, both separate. I don't really parlay anything. First one, BYU, minus 1.5 on the road. Second one, also going to take the over 48.5. Arizona, they've only been tested by one team this year. It was Iowa State, and they got absolutely housed. BYU has played multiple good opponents. They're still undefeated on the season. These Mormons look really good. Their basketball team's going to be good this year. Their football team's good again. The Mormons might be doing something. Maybe we should all stop consuming alcohol and start drinking Dr. Peppers and Diet Cokes, because good Lord, they're good. BYU, 5-0 on the season. Coming off of a 14-point home win against West Virginia, really wasn't the most inspiring win, just based on how bad WVU has been this season. But they get it done. A win is a win in Big 12 play, and then you move on. They already have 2 very solid road wins this year. One was at East Carolina by 21. ECU looks really good. Another one was Colorado by 3. Their offense top 30 in the country, averaging 451 yards per game. And they're only getting better every single week. You have to remember this is a young quarterback because their main projected starting quarterback left, I want to say in June, maybe early July when they had the allegations made against him. Then he went transferred to Tulane. They're now starting the young guy, and he just looks better and better every single week. This is a good team. They're disciplined. Normally, I know I just talked about their quarterback having the allegations. Normally, this is a very disciplined team. You don't have to worry about any craziness happens on or off the field. And they're really good under their head coach. Arizona, 4-1 on the year. That looks solid. But when you dive into it, it's not. Their one loss was Iowa State, 39-14. Their wins are against Hawaii, which their record looks good, but Hawaii off the island is awful. Weber State, that's not even an FBS school. That's not even a good FCS school. It is a bad FCS school. Kansas State, who might be one of the bottom teams in the Big 12, and Oklahoma State, who fired their head coach and looks abysmal. So when they actually step up in competition, they lose. Their stats are good, so when you compare them head-to-head with BYU, they match up pretty well. But again, they've played absolutely no one. The only team they've played is Iowa State, and they got housed by 25. Home or away, doesn't matter. I think BYU takes it. Give me the Mormons minus 1.5 and the over 48.5. All right, so next game. If you've been watching most of these videos for the college football season, I want to say this is our 4th or 5th time betting against Charlotte. Charlotte is awful. Give me Army minus 16.5. I don't love laying more than 2 possessions with a service academy school, but I'm going to do it here just based on how bad Charlotte is. Charlotte, they're 1-4 on the year. Their only win was a 42-35 victory over Monmouth, who's actually a pretty decent FCS school. But if you're letting any FCS school score 35 points on you at home, you have fundamental problems. This is their 2nd road game in a row. The previous week, they lost at USF 54-26. Their starting quarterback out for the year. They're starting the Duke transfer, Kurlofkits. I don't know how to say his last name, but he played at Duke, I think, 2 years ago. Their offense and defense are both horrible, ranked 111th and then 130th overall. This is year 1 of the former Ohio University coach Tim Albin. I was low on this coaching hire for a while. Tim Albin has not proved it anywhere. He was under head coach at Ohio University for a while. Then the head coach at OU retired. They promoted Albin, who already had one of the best rosters in the MAC. Clearly, he is going to succeed with a good team in the MAC. Now he comes to an American. He brought over a bunch of players in the transfer portal, and they're not good. He has a MAC roster playing in the American. It's never going to end well. Army, 2-3, their losses, I mean, they've had some bad losses, don't get me wrong. Tarleton State at home, not good. North Texas, who is still undefeated, that loss doesn't look as bad with them keeping on winning. And then East Carolina, they got housed. Their wins, both on the road against Kansas State and UAB. They should really be looking to get their first win here at West Point. I mean, you got to get one for the troops. Come on now. Offense and defense, they're both middle of the pack. Nothing really to write home about. This is more of a fade on Charlotte than anything. I think the Charlotte team has already given up on the season, and we're almost halfway through. This team is done. Next game, we're going to fade Pitt and back Florida State. Give me the Seminoles minus 10.5 at home. If Florida State wants any chance of making the ACC championship game, they cannot afford to drop one more. They're already 0-2 in ACC play. They have played 2 of the better teams. Their losses have been to Virginia and Miami, who honestly might play in the finals. They need to win this game. Pitt, they are now starting a true freshman at quarterback. This is his first road game ever as a starting QB. This is not the kind of environment you want to do that in. Pitt 3-2 on the year, 1-1 in ACC play. Their wins are against Duquesne, who is an awful FCS school, Central Michigan, who is a bad MAC school, and then Boston College, who might be the worst in the ACC. Their losses are to West Virginia. That loss looks worse and worse every single week. And then they also lost to Louisville. Their offense is top 50, 423 yards per game, but now you have the true freshman starting at quarterback. This might be one of the worst environments you can make that start. Their defense is good. It's ranked 22nd, but I just read they played Duquesne, Central Michigan, and Boston College. None of those offenses are good. So when they actually play good schools, they gave up 400 to Louisville and then 435 to West Virginia. Florida State, I still think they're a solid roster. 3-2 on the season. Their 2 losses, Virginia and Miami. Miami, you could argue, is the number 1 team in the country, maybe behind Ohio State if you want to put them at 2. And then Virginia is the top team in the ACC. This is a good team. Their defensive line is solid. Their O-line needs a little bit of work, but that's why you brought in Castellanos, who can get back there and run around. This Pete team, they've beaten no one. Starting quarterback, freshman, first road game. No thank you. Give me Florida State minus 10.5. All right, final game I am betting, and then I have a few bets that I almost made but couldn't pull the trigger on. The one I'm actually betting, it is Clemson minus 14.5 on the road. I've backed Clemson twice this year. I'm 0-2 betting them. Surely they can win this game by more than 2 possessions at Boston College, who just lost to Pitt by 1,000,000 points. Clemson 2-3 on the year. Last week they beat UNC 38-10. I probably wouldn't back Clemson if it was any other team than Boston College. They're on a back-to-back road spot, which is never good for winning football games. But this BC team is just so bad, I think I have to. Clemson did have a bye week the previous week before they beat Chapel Bill and UNC. Maybe they got some stuff figured out. I do like Dabo as a coach, even though he's been horrible this year. They have a good quarterback in Klubnik. They have a good D-line. I mean, their defense was supposed to be one of the best in the country prior to the season starting. So maybe they figured it out during the bye week. They watched a lot of film. They ate food. They bulked up. Who knows? But I think they absolutely kill Boston College. BC 1-4 on the year. Their only win came week 1 against Fordham, who might be one of the worst FCS schools in the country. They lost to Michigan State by 2 on the road. They should have won. That was like a triple overtime game. Stanford on the road by 10. They were favored by, I think, 12 points. They lost to Cal at home, and then they lost last week to Pitt by 41. This team is already mentally clocked out for the season. They've had multiple people hit the portal. They have big injuries in the backfield. This team sucks. Give me Clemson, minus 14.5. All right, almost bets. First one, Air Force and UNLV. UNLV is somehow still undefeated. I'm going to rock the over, 67.5. Air Force has one of the worst defenses in the entire country. UNLV also doesn't play defense, but I've been screwed multiple times on betting UNLV this year, so I'm just going to stay away. Georgia, minus 3.5 at Auburn. Auburn's looking like one of the weaker teams in the SEC. I just don't trust Georgia laying a number on the road currently. And then finally, Rice plus 11.5. With how much Rice runs the football in that new semi-triple option they run, I mean, laying double-digit points against any team that runs triple option is bold. So just on principle, I would be tempted to take Rice plus 11.5. Sprinkle the money line. UTSA has been underwhelming so far this season. So give me Rice plus 11.5. All right, that is going to do it for me in this video. I appreciate you guys tuning in and watching, and I will catch you in the next one. Peace.